I'm Sam, I'm in the Recruitment Apprenticeships team. So I ended up in recruitment basically. I'm quite a talkative person, I think that's fair to say. So I've been travelling for a little while, I came back, I wanted to sort of use something that was more in my skill set essentially. So I found a sort of a little company over in Bromley doing digital marketing recruitment, which is actually a really interesting industry. And obviously it's an opportunity for me to work really hard and obviously earn money off the back of that, not just doing like a standard 9 to 5 job or anything at all. On top of that, it meant I got to go out on meetings as well, meet a whole new range of people, do some networking and just basically learn about different areas that I found really interesting. So that was sort of like the motive behind getting into recruitment essentially. So I came to MiddletonMurray. I actually did an apprenticeship. To be fair, it taught me so much. It was basically how I got started. When I left school, I didn't know what I wanted to do, to be honest with you. Apprenticeships offered that opportunity, so when the opportunities came to move into recruitment in apprenticeships, it seemed like the perfect opportunity to almost give something back essentially. Obviously I know it fairly well, you know, being on the inside of it and being the other end of it as a learner previously myself, and then sort of getting to be the other side of that where I can understand it and develop it and sort of hopefully promote everyone else's careers that's sort of on the traineeship as well. That's something that I got a real kick from, to be honest with you. But obviously again, it's an opportunity to meet loads of people in a slightly different area of recruitment as well, so it's just about sort of expanding your network, expanding the knowledge that you've got within the industry, and obviously sort of apprenticeships to that as well. So at the moment I'm doing the REC level 3 qualification, and that's the 360 recruitment one. Obviously REC level 2 is more 180, and to be fair, it's actually worked out really well so far. I mean, when I started recruitment, no one particularly taught me how to be a recruiter. You know, it's a case of, you know, there's a phone, there's a laptop, away you go. So what the REC does, it sort of pulls it all together, so like a number of different techniques that you can use on sort of how to go about approaching your leads, how to find your leads, how to sort of determine which ratios, make sure you're doing your job efficiently. Employment law, that's a massive part of it as well. Things that you wouldn't ordinarily pick up if you just sort of doing the job, as it were. So it really sort of branches that out and gives you a whole rounded knowledge essentially of recruitment as a whole. Obviously there's a number of pathways that you can sort of you know, utilise it for. Obviously you can sort of promote that through the 0 to degree programme. Alternative, you can just sort of you know, promote up to the management qualifications, which is sort of more of the route that I'm going down, so I can sort of progress within the recruitment industry. You know, got to sort of like senior consultant, manager and so on and so forth, and hopefully progress all the way up to director in due course. I've been to a number of different recruitment companies, especially at the apprenticeship, that don't quite train their new recruits essentially in a way that teaches them to be good recruiters. You know, at the end of the day, anyone can sort of phone people up and look for leads on a laptop. You know, you don't have to be a recruiter for that. But what the REC level 3 and level 2 does is train you to be an actual recruiter, trains you to be a professional in that area rather than like an amateur that's just trying it out, if that makes sense. So I thoroughly recommend anyone sort of doing that wants to be a recruiter and wants to progress within the industry, because it just gives you such a rounded knowledge of everything within that, to be honest with you. Recruitment isn't just something that you get up and do 9 to 5 as a job. It's almost a way of life. I mean, you're always sort of going out and networking. The amount of times I've been out on a Friday night and you find someone that, you know, might be looking for a role, or someone that has a company who's looking for an apprentice, that's something that you're sort of always switched on to. It's a 24/7 role, to be honest with you. It's a bit of a cliche to say it, but it is a bit of a way of life, recruitment, whereas other sort of standard business admin jobs, they finish at like 5 o'clock, as I mentioned, but recruitment is always on the go. And what the qualifications and the upskills do, if you're already in the industry, is basically bring that all together. It helps you realise what your targets need to be and how the best way to go about doing them. It also helps you to consider different circumstances, like obviously at the moment Brexit's going on. How is that going to affect the recruitment market? Someone that isn't involved particularly with the industry is going to really consider. So it's all everything around sort of like political, environmental, social, legislative, bringing all that into your sort of standard role, as it were, and like I said, carrying that out.